and girls, we're going to go ahead and do our Sprout House project. So go ahead and get out your Sprout House packet that came home on the buses. And the first thing you're going to do is write your name at the top. So I'm going to write my name, Ms. Snyder. And you're going to write your name right on this top line. And then down here at the bottom, we're going to write the date, planted on, and we are going to write today's date, which is May 18th, 2020. Just like that. So go ahead and pause this and make sure you write that date just like I did and write your name at the top, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay guys, so for the next step, you're gonna color your Sprout House. And I went ahead and drew a kind of a circle around my name because I used a dark color for my roof and I didn't want to color over my writing. So I left that part white. And I used a light color for my house, so I just went ahead and colored over my writing here. Then, after you color, you pick out your colors for your Sprout House. We picked a yellow house, didn't we, Gabe? Mm-hmm. Gabe's here. Yes. Say hey, Gabe.
Hello.
So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to, you don't need to color this box here. We're going to do something special with that. So leave that without any color because we are going to cut it out. It says cut out, and we are going to try and cut right on these lines. Now, you're not going to want to come in from the edge to do that, friends. What we're going to do with a grown-up's help, you're going to take your scissors and poke a little hole right through the middle of your Sprout House, just like that. And that's a starting spot for your scissors. Now remember, when we use scissors, we put our thumb in the small hole and our fingers in the big one. And we are going to take little tiny snips. We're not going to go fast with this. And if you need help from a grown-up in your house, that's okay for this part, because this part's a little tricky. Now once you get to the edge, you're going to turn your paper so that it's facing up. Scissors are always facing up. And you're going to go right along that dotted line. I'm going to turn my paper when I get to the corner. Keep your scissors facing up. I think I'm going to hold it closer to my scissors. Not getting my fingers in the way. We're going to go slow and steady. My cuts are very small. Oh, time to turn. Straight up. Slow and steady. Until we go all the way around. Keep going. Whoops. There we go. It's starting to get a little floppy because we're getting our square cut out here. There we go. And once you get that cut out, you have a giant window for your Sprout House. And I'm going to show you what to do with that in just a second. Now, the next thing you're going to do, friends, is you are going to cut out around your Sprout House. Now, I went ahead and did that already, and here's my scraps, which I'm going to throw in the recycling. And your Sprout House will end up looking something like this. If you're feeling brave and want to get all around that chimney perfectly, that's awesome. If not, just do the best you can. But your Sprout House should end up looking like this with a big giant window in the middle. All right, guys, so for your next step, you're going to get your bag of beans here. Now, inside your bag of beans, you have a napkin, and it's dry and probably folded in half. We're going to take that out and spread that out, and you should have about 5 beans. If you have 4, or if you have 6, or if you have 3, that's perfectly fine. No big deal. You're going to take your beans and leave them right inside your bag. And we're going to focus on our napkin for a minute. Now, if you have a faucet nearby, you can use a faucet. I'm just going to use a little bowl of water here. And you're going to dip your napkin inside the water. Now when I pull it up, it's drippy. So what I'm gonna do is give it a little squeeze, not too much. We don't wanna get it too dry. We wanna keep it pretty moist. So it's just a little drippy. See how it's still pretty wet. If I went like this, it would still be dripping a smidge. You're gonna open that drippy napkin up, and we are going to open up our baggie all the way. Let's see if we can get it all the way unzipped. Ask a grown-up to help you. And you're going to put your napkin inside that bag because beans need moisture to grow. Now, I'm gonna put my label for my baggie face down, and so I have a clear window on the top. And I'm gonna do my best to tuck my napkin into the corners of my bag, and I'm gonna do my best to make sure my beans are on top of my napkin. So let's go ahead. This may take a minute. It's a little tricky, but we want to be able to see our beans pretty clearly. So make sure all those beans get on top of your napkin and your napkin gets spread out in your baggie. That's pretty good. When that's done, you're going to give it a little flattening and zip it back up so that it looks like this. And this is exactly what you want your beans to look like. The napkin on the bottom, the label on the bottom, and the clear window in the front with the beans on top of that moist napkin. Then, the next thing we're gonna do is put our sprout house right on top of that bag of beans. And we are going to take a little piece of tape and tape our sprout house right to the top of, or tape our bag of beans right to the top of our sprout house. Now I'm going to use masking tape to tape my sprout house to the back of, or to tape my bag of beans to the back of my sprout house. I'm going to put it right there over the top so it looks like that. If you have Scotch tape, that should work too. If you have a stapler, you might want to use that too. That'll work just fine also. You just can put one staple on this side and one staple on that side. And that's all you need to do. Now, your sprout house is ready to go in a window. Now the last step is we are going to tape our sprout house into one of our sunny windows in our house that we can go to every day to observe it. Now, I put mine right here in this window. It's dark outside right now because we're taping at night, but you can do this any time of day. What's gonna happen is these beans are gonna get the light from the window and the moisture from our paper towel, which they need to grow. And pretty soon, we're gonna have some magic happen and our sprout house is going to grow some magic beans. And we're gonna see some sprouts growing out of these very soon. So I'm so excited and I can't wait. Go ahead and get yours all taped up in your window and we're gonna observe them together and see what happens.